Hi everyone, welcome to the last week of the semester, and I know we are going to be very busy this week, so the guided learning activity for this week is going to be pretty short. You do still have a chapter to read in the textbook, and I have a couple articles I'd like you to read, but you have your exam this week and you should be finishing up your final papers, so I don't want to bog you down with too much in this last semester. So last final push here to get everything completed, okay, and this week we're basically going to cover what's in your textbook, chapter 16, and then the articles I have for you to read revolve around the refugee and immigration crisis that's occurring in Europe right now, and so taking an anthropological perspective on that. I've had several students write papers on these, and they generally turn out very well because it is such a hot topic right now. There's a huge place for anthropology in this discussion, and I hope you can see that through the articles we have this week. Okay, and I also hope that throughout the semester you all have gained not only knowledge about how anthropology works in the field of anthropology, but also a little bit about how you can apply anthropology to your field. I know a lot of my students in this intro class aren't majoring in anthropology, or a lot of you aren't even majoring in any kind of social science, but I think that anthropology is applicable across a lot of different disciplines, a lot of different fields, and I think it provides some useful skills for you. And so I wanted to just kind of reiterate those skills to you at the end of the semester and as a sort of wrap-up for you, and I hope that you can take some of these skills that you've developed through this course and apply those in your future studies and your career down the line. Okay, and so remember we talked about at the beginning of the semester, in the beginning of your textbook, those skills for the 21st century. So things like understanding other perspectives, and that's a lot of what anthropology is, right? We try to take that insider approach, and we try to really understand the lives and histories and realities of the people we're working with or people we're studying. And so if you take that skill and you apply it to a field like business, or you apply it to a field like healthcare, you can really start to see the benefits of having that relativistic perspective, of trying to understand someone else first from their own personal experience and from their own perspective. And that can really change how you interact with people. Even just using a skill like that in your personal life can be incredibly beneficial. If you're having a disagreement at work, maybe you can take this relativist approach and you can really start to diffuse the situation and begin to understand someone from their own perspective. And I think that is one of the biggest skills that I hope my students take away from the class, is just being able to apply a relativist approach to everything around them. Okay, another big one that I think is really important is being able to balance contradictions, so being able to hold two opposing ideas in your mind at the same time. And so in anthropology we have to do this a lot, especially in situations where your personal beliefs or your culture's values do not align very well with the culture you're studying or the people that you're interacting with. And so you have to be able to balance both ideas at the same time. And so a big one is when thinking about things like terrorist attacks. So thinking about terrorist attacks like 9/11. We tend to, in popular culture, think about those things as evil acts of terror committed by evil people with no rational thought, when in fact those are actually rational thoughts and rational behaviors from their perspective, from the person who's committing that act. Right? Those are rational decisions that they're making, and so it can be really easy to dismiss those as being evil, and it can be much harder to balance that contradiction of saying, well, that is a despicable act and something I can't support, but at the same time recognizing that it didn't come from a place of evil necessarily, but more a place of a rational decision that was just different than your rationale. Okay, so that's another big one I think is really important. A really big takeaway from the class, I think. My goal with this class really was to introduce you to a lot of these ideas. I don't expect you to be experts in anthropology or experts in any of these skills or things like that, but what I like to do is introduce my students to a lot of ideas, and I know it was a lot. There's a lot to cover in the intro classes, but when you hear these things in your personal life, or you hear of similar concepts when you're taking sociology courses or psychology or business classes or anything like that where you hear a similar concept, I want you to want to have your memory re-jogged back to this class and be able to think about this course and what you learned here, and then build upon that in your next classes. I've had a good time this semester. I really enjoyed the feedback from you all that's come through. That's what I really like about online classes, just the level of feedback and interaction we can have. And then also I've really enjoyed reading your papers so far, and I'm so excited to read your final products and see what you've put together through the semester. And there's such a wide range of topics. It's so fun for me to see all of your passions and how those relate to anthropology. And so I'm really excited to do that. So I'm going to let you guys get started with the good bit of work you have to do this week as we round out the semester. So just like every other week, go ahead and do the guided learning activity, which is pretty short, a reading quiz there for you, and then you'll have a discussion to do. You do have an exam this week, and you should be finishing your final papers. The exam won't cover anything from this week, and I know you're very busy, so I'm going to try to not bog you down too much more. And I hope you all have a great final week. As always, email me with any questions, comments, concerns, and head over to the surveys tab and take that course eval. Give me some feedback. There are obviously things I can do better, but don't forget to tell me the things I did well so I don't cut those from future classes. All right, have a great week and a great next semester.